Hi everyone, my name is Ijeoma Ucheibe and welcome to another episode where I talk about everything human resources and its intersection with the law under the Naija HR Chic Series. I know I had talked about this on a former, I think an earlier episode on the channel where I spoke about employer branding and how organizations can do better, where we don't have to have our leaders loud failing and all. And it dovetails into what I'm going to speak on today. I'm not calling anybody out, I'm not going to be naming names and all, but I just feel it's something that I have observed, especially on LinkedIn, and I think we need to start doing better. And this is this idea of candidate experience. Every other day I see a post or the other where people apply for jobs or opportunities or grants, and then you don't have people who are responding to them. Don't get me wrong, I get how busy we can all be, right? But there's something called an ATS, applicant tracking software. From the beginning of time, we talk about it. It's supposed to be a tool that we use to help our recruitment processes be more efficient and better. But we have seen that over time we can also customize it to do what we want it to do. But I feel that even if you don't have one on site because you're not able to afford it budget wise, there are other things that you can do where you dedicate an hour of a day to do that, to just respond to candidate emails when they apply to openings in your organizations. And someone watching is going to be wondering, oh, Ijeoma has talked about it a lot of times on my LinkedIn profile that I am pivoting from legal services to another sector. I know that I also recently opened a consulting company, but that's not just about it. But I have also been on the end of where I have had to make some applications to companies. And then you come back months later. I think I applied to a company in August. I came back in December to see that that particular job vacancy was still rotating in HR group. So the first question I'm asking, are you farming CVs for future openings just in case whoever is occupying those positions leave unceremoniously? You have someone that you can always just call on. Because of the NDPA of 2023 and then the recent directive of March 2025, we also need to be very careful, number one, when it comes to farming of people's data. Because you don't know that this person's data wants to be in your database. That's kind of right that this particular legislation is giving people, and especially candidates, now more than ever before. I will be speaking on that at a webinar with HR mentorship next month. You should do well to attend. I'm going to put the flyer down below. But what I'm saying is, number one, you have to be very careful when it comes to farming of data so that you don't run foul of the law because you are thinking that you're being smart. You have somebody who currently occupying that position, but because it is not open or you don't have a website where that person is occupying a position on the website for people to see and they don't know, they just keep sending CVs and then they end up not getting callbacks or even getting an acknowledgement from your organization. I don't want to get into it, what it can spell for the organization down the line. But for employer branding purposes, I don't think it's something that we should be doing. If you are watching me and you are doing that, do it for me. So that you don't get to a point where I start sending you emails to say, I want to withdraw my application. And then I find out that you have shared my CV with another organization, even though you feel, oh, you're trying to do me a favor. That might be a breach of my own data rights. I think I'm going to do a different episode on this and like delve into it fully so that we understand that there are certain things that we should not be taking for granted as HR practitioners or even professionals. Secondly, there's something called a candidate experience. At one of the organizations I worked at, I used to take it up so well that I had an interview script from start to finish because we didn't just want to make you feel like, oh, we were there to ask you or questions or we hunt you. There were times that we had candidates, right, joining in those calls, and then you had to calm them down because they were very nervous, not for want of not knowing what to say, but because they felt, oh, they had had an experience that was not so pleasant with another organization, so they had that trauma coming in. But sometimes I always like to say it starts from the moment a candidate sends you their CV. Don't get me started on the cover letter part, because I don't even bother sending that. Or when you have to fill a form and then you are asking me to submit my CV. Typically, those kind of forms, if you'd ask me, they should just have a portion where you ask the person their notice period, what they are currently taking, which is supposed to be confidential, but no problem, you're already trying to match the figures, what they are expected to take, and if there are any other comments or things that you, who is the recruiter, should know. But when you see forms where you're almost being asked for the information that is in your CV, it can feel a tad exhausting to fill. So having to put someone through that process where they fill that kind of form and then you don't call them back, it just makes feel some type of way, especially for companies that put themselves out there. So let's just say ABC company, which I run, is recruiting for a HR generalist. It is expected that someone at the company should be tasked with that work of responding to candidates. It just shows respect for the person's time and the efforts they took to apply. Believe it or not, this person could be doing anything else, especially if they have a 9 to 5 in Lagos. They could be working on that 9 to 5, but because they think they can get something better at the organization, they took out time to apply. And then you don't even deem it fit to respond. It just feels like you don't appreciate their time. And now you don't start to wonder why it feels like, oh, people call out certain companies online. It's something this little as, oh, they didn't as much as respond to my application to say we got it. We will show, if you are shortlisted, you move to the next stage of the process, right? That's the second one. The third one is, my God, group head of HR is going to be in charge of 16 entities, and you're giving this person ₦1 million gross in Lagos. You people should be fearing God. I'm sorry, you should be fearing God when you do certain things. I'm sorry, dear. Even if you feel that, oh, the company is not named and the person is going to get to name the company as a recruiter, maybe at the second stage or close to when the offer letter is being presented. Yes, I've had situations like that where I didn't even know the name of the company till I got an offer letter, right? How in the world are you giving someone an offer letter? Or rather, you're putting it on your application page that you're paying a group head of HR for 16 entities ₦1 million gross. This is even less than $1,000 per month. These people have expenses in their homes, even if they might not be married, because the narrative in Nigeria, I digress, is you have to be married to be responsible or have responsibilities worthy of certain sums of money. So when people try to tell you that their value is worth ₦5 million per month, you try to argue with them because you feel, oh, the last person took. Don't get me started on that particular bit. I will address that in a future episode, but for goodness sake. And then there are some companies that are so bold. ABC company is off, and you start to wonder, I have checked your balance sheet. You are a listed company on Nigerian Stock Exchange. How are you offering someone this kind of money? Because you feel, oh, the person is coming to do HR. They're not strategic enough. They're just going to come and give us headcounts. That's what they're there for. I can promise you that down the line, that will affect your employer brand if you're not careful. So, believe it or not, now more than ever before, you need, one, work on your data privacy rights and how it affects recruitment and your candidate experience for your company's employer brand. 2, and more importantly, please acknowledge people's emails. Acknowledge applications. 3, please put reasonable. I know we all have budget for roles, right? But please put reasonable compensations for certain roles. Not even because you think they're coming there to push files or whatever, but please. So people don't look back at your brand and then start saying things that they should not say, because they might not necessarily be true and it might be coming from a place of irritation and just anger, but it ends up harming your brand in the end. With these few points of mine, let me know in the comment section, are there things that you think that companies should do better when it comes to their candidate experience so that it helps their employer brand in the end? I'll be waiting in the comments, and don't forget to follow us or me. I'm very visible across social media. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. No, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, now known as X. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Threads, and I'm on Instagram. You can drop me a comment, you can follow, but more importantly, please, I am on a journey to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you guys, and catch you in the next video. Bye.